Mod Bomb does absolutely nothing. Pinsir looking for the Fury Cutter farm down, and we get it. If abomasnow don't know about the superpower coverage, they're about to find out. Hit him with that bang. There it is. Shout out to Oxford U. We are all eagerly awaiting your YouTube return. But let's get into today's video. As you can see on the left, this is a very spicy team. If this was your report card in school, your mum is going to be very upset. Look at some of the top threats. You can see stuff like Swampert, Wishcash and Azumarill are all things apparently this team can't deal with. But that did not stop Lord Everything going on an absolute tear up. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1 we see a lead against Metachan. Counter is resisted. Metachan takes neutral from Bug due to his psychic subtyping. The opponent shields up the X-Scissor. Pinsir, absolute glass cannon, is going to respect the Ice Punch. We are now going to continue to farm up. You can see Fury Cutter is actually doing less than resisted counters. You hate to see it. X-Scissor number 2 goes unshielded. We now look to catch the move on our Charizard. As always, stay in school, kids. Learn to count his 6 counters to each Ice Punch. The opponent stays in. Charizard gets the wing attack farm down. The opponent now comes in to Lickitung, so it's hard meta versus Spice who will prevail. Lord Everything continuing to overfarm. We shield up the body slam. We're now gonna return fire with the blast burn, but does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Lickitung out here now, not looking as bulky as it thinks it is. We now fire off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw goes unshielded, and in the back they have a very angry looking monster known as Guzzlord. Mew is not going to appreciate the crunch. The opponent is going to fire a charge move. Can Mew survive? Yes, we can, as they for some strange reason go for the Dragon Claw. We have a very spicy moveset. Will the opponent respect the Stone Edge? Yes, they do. Wham bam combo play. In comes Pinsir, looking to make the superpower, and on minimal HP it's going to be night night. Sleep tight, Guzzlord. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we have entered the Spice Zone. Pinsir into Sneasler. You'll probably never see this ever again. I have absolutely no idea what is going on, but we look to catch the move on our Charizard. Sneasler fires off the aerial ace. We respect it with a shield. Sneasler is staying in. We return fire with the Dragon Claw. The opponent now switches out into Hitmonchan. Holy smokes, Hitmonchan is not the counter you are looking for. Surely this opponent isn't running. Triple fighting. Hitmonchan does make a move. Lord Everything choosing to shield it up. We shield up the Thunder Punch. Return fire with another Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is going to be taking care of Hitmonchan. Back out comes Sneasler. They get the farm down. In comes Mew. Mew is going to have to tank an aerial ass. I call it aerial ass because it's pretty terrible. But Sneasler out here making it look like a pretty decent move. We get the snipe with Pinsir. And my gosh, it is triple fighting. Pinsir has a pretty dreadful matchup here. Both X-Scissor and Superpower are resisted. But Pinsir hits like a truck. Superpower does massive damage. We make Superpower number 2. And the battle of the Spice. Lord Everything prevails. Moving on to the next one. We see Pinsir into Skarmory. Pretty much as bad as you can get, as Pinsir is a mono bug and we do not appreciate flying. We say switch into Mew. We shield up the sky attack. We are going to return fire with a Surf. Skarmory might be fearful of the wild charge most opponents have, and the opponent does respect it with a shield. Lord Everything is going to fire off one more Surf. Surf will get this thing below 50% HP. Skarmory already at the next charge move. Lord Everything really wants switch advantage. We shield up the sky attack. Lord Everything continues to overfarm and he returns fire with another Surf. Does Skarmory want to go to the 2 shield? Yes, they do. However, Skarmory, you're a clumsy oaf and you are going to get outpaced. Mew wins the 2 shield and we now have switch advantage. However, the Glass Cannon team has no shields. The opponent comes in to abomasnow. We don't make the Stone Edge. Abomasnow chooses to dump that energy Weather Ball, takes us out, and now it's time for Charizard. The opponent has Wishcash in the back, not particularly bad for Charizard, especially when the opponent throws the single resisted Mod Bomb. They should just nuke us with a Blizzard. They did not. Charizard is going to return fire with the resisted Blast Burn, and Blast Burn does massive damage. In comes Pinsir. Pinsir is going to tank this Mod Bomb as Bug does resist ground. Mod Bomb doesn't do a lot. Pinsir aggressively looked for the Fury Cutter farm down. Live Abomasnow didn't know about the superpower coverage. They're about to find out as bang, there it is. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. We see Pinsir into Sunny Cherrim. We are hitting him for super effective, as Sunny Cherrim is a mono grass type and Bug does hit for super effective. However, this little plant looking football does have access to fire type weather ball, which would do huge damage to Pinsir. We play out the one shield, the opponent switches out into a Unova Pancake, and we are going for the superpower, draws a shield. Lord Everything looking to preserve his Pinsir. The opponent goes for an absolutely brutal Mud Bomb bait. Even debuffed, I doubt that would knock out. Well, maybe it would, because Pinsir is made of paper. Mew lands the Surf. Surf gets Unova Pancake deep into the red. Whatever they throw, looking to make the Surf. We get out for the discharge. Can Mew farm down in 4 Shadow Claws before the Mud Bomb? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we cannot. Lord Everything recognizing that and throws on charge move priority. Beautiful counting and energy management. Down goes the Pancake. We get farmed down by Cherrim, but Charizard is about to go off. Can we get the full farm down on this? We cannot. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. Lord Everything putting on a clinic in counting, catching the dazzling gleam on his Pinsir. Charizard gets the full farm down, and in the back it really doesn't matter, as double blast burn pretty much knocks out everything. But we only need one to take care of Ivysaur. GG's and thanks for playing. For those of you that like to study, let's have a quick lesson. It's 3 bullet seeds to the weather ball. It's actually 3, 3, 3, 2. However, the dazzling gleam is 6, 5, and if they're on solar beam or hyper beam, it takes 7 bullet seeds respectively. We're getting on into the next battle. We see Charmalolan Ninetales in the lead. Pinsir absolutely dreadful. We say switch into Mew. We attempt to put the lights out with the Stone Edge, and the opponent very sadly shields. We shield up the weather ball, and in comes Diggersby, aka Thickersby, the normal type in his double resisting Shadow Claw. However, Surf does hit for super effective, and if you're wondering why I call it Thickersby, that Surf did absolutely nothing. They throw the Fire Punch commit to the Mud Shot farm down. Lord Everything sends in Charizard. We have to be mindful of the Hyper Beam, but the opponent throws on a, at worst, this is a single resisted Earthquake, and holy smokes, that does a lot of damage. Lord Everything is going to nuke this thick bunny with the Blast Burn. Blast Burn returns Diggersby to its Pokeball, and in the back it is the Flying Toilet Pelipper. Pelipper, due to his water typing, is going to resist Blast Burn, but Blast Burn doesn't care about typings. We get Pelipper deep into the red. We now send in Pinsir. We are now going to be all shields down. Lord Everything is going to have to try and resist it. Fury Cutter farm down, but the Flying Toilet does resist Bug due to its flying typing. We get hit with the Weather Ball, and this is going to be game over. GG's to that opponent. Moving on into the next battle, we see the battle of Pinsir versus Alolan Executor. It's even a shiny Alolan Executor versus a Shadow Pinsir. This is the battle that you never thought you would see, but we're seeing it. X-Scissor would be hitting for super effective due to the grass subtyping of this really tall tree. We pivot out into Charizard. Charizard now goes for the wing attack farm down. We've both got 1 shield remaining. The opponent sends in Toxicroak. Holy smokes, that is no Charizard answer. We go for the Dragon Claw bait, and this Toxicroak is about to get cooked. Blast Burn locked and loaded. Night Night. Sleep tight Toxicroak. And it's now become very apparent why the opponent sent in Toxicroak. They've got Skarmory. In the back, Skarmory would obviously get absolutely obliterated by Charizard's Blast Burn. This opponent is actually running Steel Wing. If you're going to run Skarmory, I recommend Air Slash. Not the best move, but that does absolutely tell you all you need to know about Steel Wing. Absolutely dreadful. We land the Stone Edge. Mew now only has to make the Surf, and it's going to be G to the G. Moving on to the next one. The bad leads continue. Pinsir into Altaria. Altaria resist everything Pinsir can throw. We say switch into Mew. Altaria staying in. Does the opponent respect the spicy Stone Edge coverage? They do not. It lands for huge damage. Lord Everything is now sitting in the driver's seat. We can shield this up. If Altaria does stay in, they are going to get Shadow Claw farmed all the way down. The opponent does stay in. Mew gets a hefty farm down. They now send in Venusaur. Venusaur, do you fancy respecting the Stone Edge coverage? Venusaur thinks, fuck my life. The first one did massive damage to my buddy. The opponent does shield it up and then throw the Frenzy Plant off on a CMP tie. Lord Everything was sitting in a dreadful spot. However, we are now in the driver's seat. Charizard is going to sweep the remainder of the team. Machamp shits its pants, shielding up the Dragon Claw. Charizard can shield up whatever the opponent throws. They are going to go for the cross chop bait, but that trainer isn't going to save you. Charizard gets the farm down. Blast Burn locked and loaded. It's going to be high Venusaur, bye Venusaur, GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next one, we pick up what you would imagine would be a positive lead. Superpower does hit Scrafty for super effective, and Lord Everything is not baiting. He's going straight for the Superpower. Scrafty shows no respect, and Scrafty gets returned to its Pokeball. They now send in a Charm, a Alolan Ninetales. Can we see back-to-back nukes land, and we go straight for the Stone Edge? Oh, come on, trainer. The opponent does respect it. With a shield, Lord Everything is going to match shields. The opponent has already seen Stone Edge. Are they going to shield up the second time? Can we get Charizard with shields down? The opponent needs to shield or get taken out, and the opponent thinks, I'm going to two-shield my Charmer. Unfortunately for you, trainer, we have Charizard. Charizard can shield up this Weather Ball over farm, throw the Blast Burn at the Ninetales. The opponent pivots out into Tentacruel, so this game actually isn't over. Tentacruel, due to his water subtyping, does resist the Blast Burn. We now pivot out into Pinsir. Pinsir can only hit 4 resisted. We go for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor gets this Tentacruel super low. Pinsir does manage to farm all the way down. Ninetales snipes us with a Charm. Can Charizard make the Dragon Claw? Who was worried, as Charizard says, hold my beer, I've got you, team. And that is another win. Moving on into the next battle, Pinsir into Jirachi. I would say neutral, however, confusion is absolutely reckless. Lord Everything goes straight for the Superpower, and Jirachi respects it with a shield. We now pivot out into Mew. Jirachi is taken super effective from the Shadow Claws. They stay in, they throw the Doom Desire, and the opponent attempts to catch a charge move on the Azumarill. Azumarill is now going to have to eat a Stone Edge to the face, and that still does pretty respectable damage. The opponent is throwing a charge move. This is not a Hydro Pump. It won't take us out. The opponent just throws an Ice Beam. Mew throws one Shadow Claw, and the next Stone Edge is Azumarill. Prepared to shield, they are not. Can we now get the Shadow Claw farmed? It's going to be close, and Azumarill on 1 HP and a dream. Azu, nicknamed the bulky blue egg for a reason, manages to take us out. We come in, snipe him with one Fury Cutter on our Pinsir. Back out comes Jirachi and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. Lord Everything catches the resisted Doom Desire on our Charizard. Doom Desire is a really hard hitting move though, so we do have to respect it with a shield. Lord Everything attempts to farm down. He doesn't make it. He throws the Dragon Claw just before Jirachi gets the next Doom Desire. The opponent respects it with a shield resisted Doom Desire. Almost takes us out. We simul KO, and it is Venusaur in the back. X-Scissor is only neutral. It's not going to KO, so if Charizard did get the wing attack farm down, we would win. But instead, we take a loss. Moving on into the next one. We see Pinsir into Sylveon. I would say the bad leads continue, but let's not kid ourselves. Pinsir doesn't win all that many leads. The opponent now makes a very interesting switch, switching in a Hex Jellicent into our Shadow Claw Mew. You can see Shadow Claw ripping apart the opponent. They go for a Bubble Beam. Mew does survive, throws one more Shadow Claw and the next Stone Edge. This is going to get the Jellicent deep into yellow. The opponent is trying to Hex farm us down. Can we make the Surf? We cannot. Lord Everything now sends in Pinsir as the sacrificial lamb. He instantly clicks the no shield, and the opponent just goes for another Bubble Beam. This now gives Pinsir the chance to throw the X-Scissor. X-Scissor will be taking care of Jellicent, and it's now 2-shield Charizard versus the world. Back out comes the Sylveon. They've got a whole boatload of energy. We are going to have to respect whatever they throw. They go for the resisted Moonblast. I think Psyshock would have been the play, and 2-shield Charizard looking primed to sweep it. Scrafty in the back. We go straight for the Blast Burn. Scrafty does shield it up. Lord Everything can easily shield up whatever they throw. They go for the Power Up Punch bait. Charizard though really doesn't care. We overfarm as much as possible. We make the Blast Burn on the CMP. Blast Burn returns Scrafty to its Pokeball. We can't make the next charge move. It's now all down to Pinsir. Pinsir reaching for the Superpower. Superpower is resisted, but Pinsir says, hold my beer, Charmer. You, sir, don't beat me. And that is a good game. Holy smokes. Lord Everything, I don't know what you had for breakfast today or the day of these battles, but they were absolutely incredible. So much spice from you and your opponents, a whole heap of fun to shoutcast. I was very impressed with your energy management and counting. As I always say, kids, stay in school, learn to count. If you want to learn to count fast moves, you can go to a website called Pokemoves. Just type Pokemoves into Google. This will bring you up a website and you can literally type in any Pokemon in the game. It will show you every combination of fast moves, and then it will tell you how many of them fast moves to each charge move. So if you're like me and you like to be on point with your energy management, have a look. Go for all the regular Pokemon you see, start memorizing them, and your gameplay will improve. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you'd like to be featured on the channel like Lord Everything was. A link to my battle submission form is down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.